Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I'm back with another review. And this time, I saw Hick. This is a 2011 comedy thriller directed by Derek Martini, and it stars Chloe Grace Moretz, Blake Lively, Eddie Redmayne, Alec Baldwin, Juliette Lewis, and Rory Culkin. In this film, a pistol-packing teen meets an unstable rebel and a cocaine-snorting drifter as she hitchhikes her way out west. So, what did I think of Hick? Well, this is again one of the movies I randomly watched today, and I liked it. It has its issues, and I'll get to those. But for the most part, the acting in this film makes it worth it. But let me get to the cast. Chloe Grace Moretz plays Lily McMullen. Her mom's not paying attention to her. After her dad has left, all this stuff happens, which culminates in her leaving. Um, Chloe Grace Moretz, this was only a year after Kick-Ass, and she looks a lot older and more mature, which is interesting. Um, and like in Kick-Ass, I think she does a great job playing a character that had to grow up too quick. I buy it with her. She shows a lot of maturity in her acting. And yeah, I do really like her in this role. Blake Lively plays Glenda. She's one of the hitchhikers that ends up picking her up. She's one huge highlight of this movie. I've always liked Blake Lively. Rhythm Section, underrated film. A lot of more people should watch and give more of a chance. Um, but yeah, I love hearing Blake Lively use. I love her British accent. I love hearing her do that. Or excuse me, Southern accent. I'm going crazy here. Eddie Redmayne plays Eddie Creaser, basically our main male lead. Um, I usually don't like him, by the way. I don't usually don't like Eddie Redmayne. But here he works. He's supposed to be creepy. He's supposed to be off-putting. Um, I think I could still punch him in the nose and knock him out, but still. Um, he does a good job playing this kind of creepy uh driver who ends up constantly bumping into Luli. Alec Baldwin plays Bo. He's kind of a small character near the end. He's barely in it. I will say there was an interesting clip of him, or interesting bit of him, where he said, "You're telling me about gun safety," or something like that, and it just reminded me of the how fucking ironic that is. He's saying that. There's many clips of him saying shit like that about guns in movies, and the whole producer thing, and how he swept that under the rug with money. Uh, but yeah. Juliette Lewis plays Tammy, the mom of Lily. Um, she's barely in the film, but she's fine. She does her usual thing. And Rory Culkin, again, barely in the film as Clement. Literally a maybe 2-minute role, but still. This film, like the last one, not much I'm gonna be able to say, but the main enjoyment I got out of this film was through some pretty fun comedy in the first third. Um, and actually pretty intense kind of thriller elements in the last third. The second third of the film, it's not that it's worthless, it's just that it kind of has a hard time deciding which of the two it wants to focus more on because it doesn't want to do comedy and thriller at the same time. So the first third you get basically a comedy, um, with maybe some drama elements, and then the last third you get the thriller, which has some pretty intense moments and some pretty sharp wits from her characters. And I mean, that was nice to see for once. It's nice to see a 14-year-old character that's smart like this character that doesn't feel like it's just written that way. It feels like the character is legitimately smart. And again, the main three performances of the film being Chloe Grace Moretz, Blake Lively, and Eddie Redmayne. Again, even though Eddie Redmayne, I'm not a big fan of him. Um, but yeah, uh, it is kind of just a road film. I'm fine with that type of film. It's not something that like annoys me that it's that, but um, this is a film that doesn't get the best of reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. The critics' consensus is a 5%, which I can understand someone not getting into the type of humor here, but a lot of people love the Coen brothers, and this is very similar, very, very similar humor to the Coen brothers, so much so that at one point there's an actor, um, Ray McKinnon, who was in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which I found very interesting to find out, because I was like, oh wow, there's literally somebody from a Coen brothers movie, and the scene that he's in with Eddie Redmayne feels like a Coen brothers or Tarantino type scene. But that's one of the few times I'll actually say like that something feels similar to something else. But yeah, it's got some good humor, especially from Blake Lively's character. There's a bit where um Blake Lively's character gets Chloe's character to help her rob a gas station, and Chloe pretends to have a seizure. And as she's having the seizure, the um the store owner comes over to check her out and or see what's going on, and then he has a heart attack and falls on her. And I will admit that was really funny. There's a lot of really good dark humor in this film, and I love dark humor. Um, and the way she freaks out and the way she plays it off later, where she pretends to be sad and she's like, "Every we love him. It's so sad." Blake Lively is at home in this type of role. There are people online that say that she looks obviously like she doesn't want to be there because you apparently know what actors are thinking. But I liked I liked her character a lot. Eddie Redmayne's character, also very interesting. Like I guess they're playing it like he's got the hots for her, even though Eddie Redmayne at the time was 29 and Chloe Grace Moretz as an actress was 14. But it's meant to be creepy. And I will say, there's one thing until about halfway through the movie, I didn't realize if the film was creepy because somebody was like sexualizing the main character, who is 13 but played by a 14-year-old, or if they're making it meant to be creepy. And apparently, a lot of people online had the same thing where they couldn't tell. But when we got to the last third, the thriller part, I realized that yes, it is meant to be creepy. It is meant to be off-putting. They never put her in sexual situations, really, and I'm glad for that, because we don't need another fucked up person on drugs later in their life because of how they were treated as children. But for the most part, this is just a pretty fun comedy thriller that again, while it doesn't know sometimes what it wants to do, it still works in the end. Again, certain issues I have with it doesn't know what it wants to be at certain points, but still, I enjoyed it. Not much else I could say there. But yeah. Um, thank you for watching my review. That was my review of Hick. If you've seen the film, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you have any recommendations, put them down there as well. And movie reviewer next door, out.